Hello, everyone. Let's start. Thank you for joining. Uh, I would like to welcome you on our first English webinar about Roivenue functionality. It should be one first of the many. So thank you for joining from the very beginning. Today, we are going to talk about custom dimensions within Roivenue, how the proper setup can help you to get more value from our product, how it can speed up the process, how it can open the marketing data to wider audience within your company, how you can make it accessible for more people. Yeah, and what more insights you can get with just different settings of the custom dimensions. It's supposed to be very quick. So in case you have any questions, ask on Slido. We have Slido #Roivenue, and you can ask any questions there. So most of you actually uses the feature. Most of you has channel names set up within Roivenue from the very beginning or for quite long. But with migration to Roivenue 2, custom dimensions has much new features, and we would like to share that with you because you don't have to set up only channel names, but you can set up different custom dimensions for your needs. So the proper setup can actually add value for you, for people who already use Roivenue. They know how to use it, they know what value it brings, but also it can open Roivenue for more people within your team. Not only marketing team, if you are a CMO, probably your performance managers already use it. If you are a performance manager, maybe your CMO is not using Roivenue because I don't know, we will get to the reasons later on, but you can also make it more interesting for social media managers, CFOs, other people on the C-level, etc., especially for marketing. And also, completely new data can be added into Roivenue datasets, and it can bring more value for you. So let's check out how custom dimensions can help you as a person who already uses Roivenue. So with the proper setup, actually you can speed up your process. Let's say, let's actually go into Roivenue and check it out. Let's say you already have your channels, you have your campaign level. So basically the main things can be shared, can be found within Roivenue. I can choose, I can go here, I can see campaigns, and I can see attribution on the campaign level, which is good, which is great. But maybe you are interested in seeing only campaigns for some product category, let's say cars. So you have two options. If you use only campaigns, channels, and platforms, you will probably do something like opening the campaign filter, write cars, and selecting all the car campaigns. And yes, you get to your result. But if it's something you do every time for, let's say, multiple product categories, it can be unnecessary time consuming. Maybe you would appreciate a filter which would select cars immediately with one click. And that's exactly what you can do with custom dimensions. I have a product category here. And what I can actually do, I can go here, select cars, and what I get is all the campaigns which are at the same time product category cars. And that's something you can set up without a problem. So if you have something like, okay, I every time filter that and it's time consuming, I would like to speed up the process, you can do that now. But it also provides, sorry, I'm having trouble to switch. It can offer completely new ways. This is only time saving, but the custom dimensions can also show you the new look on your business results. Because let's stay with product categories. If or when you have the campaign level only, you can check the dimensions, for example, marketing spend per each category. Here we can see, okay, 38% of our marketing cost goes to campaigns without specific product category or like without campaign name. But then to find out, for example, how much I spend into scooters or jackets is basically impossible. But with the properly set up custom dimension, it's quite easy to manage, because you can select product category as your primary dimension. And what I will see is, okay, I spend 16% into clothes, 9.6% into knives, 9% into cars. And that's something I wouldn't be able to find at all. And it works throughout the ad. So the same way I can see attribution for different product categories. So I can see, okay, accessories is actually doing 40% better, which again is an information which would be very hard to obtain without having the custom dimension set up. And the last thing for the current users is the cross-filtering of data. It's the combination of stuff we already did, but I can show you. For example, you would like to see your non-brand search campaigns. So let's set it up for channel type or channel name. You see the results for your non-brand search campaigns. I see, okay, actually it does 14% better, but without the product category or any other dimension, we will get to different examples later on. That's the maximum you would get, either the channel or the specific campaign. But if I would like to know, for example, the performance of each product category, but only for the non-brand search, I can actually go and filter out only non-brand search, and it will be cross-filtered. So I can see performance per product category, but for Google Ads search, non-brand only in this case. So it allows me find very easily what data I need, and adds you new options. So that's in a nutshell what I wanted to present about current users, how it can help you. But as I promised, the proper setup of custom dimensions can also help to open Roivenue for new people entirely within your team. Because I'm sure you have someone in your team who doesn't use Roivenue, and it might be because they think it's too complicated, it has too many details and they do not need it. It does not offer enough details. For example, they prefer to have like campaign and ad group level by default, etc. The reasons can be multiple. For example, your CEO or CMO, depending on the size of your business, they might not go into Roivenue directly because just the level of details it has is not necessary for them. But you still probably have to report some sort of numbers to them. And this can be vice versa achieved by setting up the custom dimension on the lower level, on the like high level. For example, I have set it up a channel type here in our demo to demonstrate. Maybe they are interested only like seeing once a week performance per like how search is doing, how display campaigns are doing, what about social, etc., etc. So you can group all those campaigns, all those channels into just 6, 5, 7, 10 values they are actually interested in, depending on what needs they have, and they can see the data. And you can either tell them, okay, now you can go to Roivenue and just filter this this value channel type. It's made for you, and you will have the data you need. Or for sure, you will have cases when they will say, I don't want to go to Roivenue entirely. And like that's about a thing. Like they will see still like all the sites, all the platforms, all the details in here. They will just have their own dimension. But what it also allows you to do is to export this custom dimension from Roivenue into some sort of automated report, either in Google Data Studio, Power BI, or any other visualization tool you might use. And the data will be already pre-made and pre-processed by Roivenue on the granularity you need. So you can achieve significant like time-saving opportunities that, for example, if you do the reporting manually, it will be fully automatic. Or alternatively, you can even obtain data you couldn't before because it was like too complicated or even impossible. So that's how it can help new users. We currently have clients actually using Roivenue, starting to use Roivenue as like easy tool to report into finance department about marketing activities, because they are active, like they are for sure interested only about the high level. And the new feature is an investment type. You can, thanks to custom dimensions, filter between pure online investments and other expenses, which could be added into Roivenue by you or by anyone in your team. We will have a separate call about investments, tracking investments within Roivenue. So it can actually open the data for much more people in your company. And lastly, the last topic I would like to talk about is that it can actually add entirely new data into Roivenue. Because as you might know, in the past, it was difficult to add any more data into Roivenue. Pretty much the scope was preset, it was fixed, and any changes have been quite complicated to do, and that is not true anymore with the custom dimensions. You can add multiple stuff and use it as filters. I am not going to show you in the demo because we don't have this set up within the demo, but it works pretty much the same. You can add different conversion types, either using the transaction feed you are sending. It's then possible to filter between different kinds of conversions. For example, I don't know, eShop conversions like transactions, or leads if you follow multiple. And then the attribution, that's important, the attribution will be calculated for each of those conversion types separately. So you will get attribution results, how you are doing against transactions. And the same way, you can get different attribution results, what works for lead generation. Different kind of thing is Google Analytics demographics. Because that's something we don't work with in Roivenue by default much, but you might need to download, for example, in a country dimension or city dimension, maybe even landing page. That's not a demographic, of course, but landing pages can be also used for measuring attribution results for different parts of your website. Or you can use like age, gender, etc., depending on what your GA is storing, and of course, depending on what Google Analytics allows to download together, because GA is restrictive about what demographics can be downloaded together with campaign results, etc., etc. So, of course, these limitations and restrictions still exist, but in Roivenue you can add more data like this. Different example can be differentiation by device, by browser, etc. So that's the three things custom dimensions can help you with. It can be new data, we just finished that, help for you in time-saving point of view, and new kind of insights, added value, and it can open Roivenue for multiple stakeholders within your team. And you might be wondering, okay, that sounds cool, or at least some of it, and I would like to start implementing that, but I don't know how to jump into it, where to start. So that's the last part. With the part how it can help you as the person who already uses Roivenue, it's quite easy because you already use it, you know the product, etc. You know what you want to use it for. So actually just watch yourself for a while how you use it. For example, is there something you have to set up in filters every time again and again and again, and it's like super annoying? Maybe it is, and then it's probably worth it to create a custom dimension for it and have it within one click. Or you might have questions, oh, Roivenue is not able to provide me with this insight, but it has the data for it. And then it can be like, I would like to see how my non-brand campaigns for mobile phones are doing. And if you set up the custom dimensions properly, it can be done. So analyze what you actually need, and you can either start creating the dimensions, or if you don't know how to set them up exactly and you would like to discuss it with us, you can definitely write an email to me or any other from our client success managers asking for help. And we are happy to schedule a call, help you out with the setup, or even like consult you on what setup can be interesting for you, if it can be done, what is needed for it, etc. Regarding the other people within your team, it can be more complicated because either they don't use Roivenue, but they are willing to use it. They just don't see the level of detail they need, either super detailed like edit groups or the high level like search and display. So discuss it with them. You might either know it already because, for example, you have to report for your manager on some level. So you can just set it up, or discuss with them, okay, see, there is this option. I think it can save us time, give us more insights. etc. How do you need it? And they usually will tell you, okay, I would love to see this and that. And then discuss with them if Roivenue as the place for visualizing data is good for them, if they would like to use it, or if they would like to avoid it if possible. And if so, it's always better to teach people to use new things in a way it's easy for them. So we will be talking on the next call in 2 weeks about how to make Roivenue accessible for different stakeholders within the company. So it can be like some export to Data Studio, Google Sheets, Power BI, whatever you are using, and just adding the data to some already existing views they are using. That can be actually the easiest way to go. And regarding the new data, if you have something you would like to add, like split by device category, by browser, etc., it's the same. Write us. That's something you will not be able to set up on your own. We will have to help you out, but we are very happy to do it. So if you have something like that, some ideas what you would like to do, we are very much open to discuss it. Okay, and what's going to be on the next webinar? As I mentioned, the topic is going to be Roivenue for multiple users. So we are going to show you, because many people consider Roivenue good for performance managers mainly, but we think that for performance managers, it's definitely one of the primary use cases. But the same way, we have a few features and we have Data Studio templates to be valuable for social media managers by providing Facebook and Instagram insights. So that will be discussed. We will definitely discuss how to make Roivenue interesting for C-levels with some high-level reports. And as I mentioned, we will be also discussing how to set up Roivenue as a reporting tool or base for reporting for finance department, which should be for you time saving, and for the finances maybe as well.